Hi, I'm Amy with ResidentRockstar.com, and I'm here with Chris from WIRETRAP you're from Longmont, right? Is it Longmont?
It's officially like Denver based, but I do personally live in Longmont, yes.
So he drove to Denver from Longmont to talk to me. Oh.
Yeah, which you rock. Yes, you're awesome.
Thank you. So WIRETRAP is a Denver-based band, and Chris is from Longmont. And they, what kind of music are you? Like, I want you to describe your music for me.
Okay, basically it's old school industrial from the early 90s, whose main influences are from the Cleopatra days. I'm thinking about like Birmingham 6, I'm thinking about Cuban 8, Front 242 from the early 90s. That's pretty much how I groove.
Right on. That's a pretty good description. I'm intrigued and want to hear more. Being a child of the 80s and 90s myself, Frontline Assembly and Front 242 and all those good bands are right up there. Ministry. Are you going to go to a Ministry concert?
You know what's funny is I've never been a Ministry fan.
Oh.
I know it's like pretty crazy considering the sound of WIRETRAP, because I get compared a lot to Ministry. But I don't know, like I never really got into the whole Jesus Built My Hot Rod thing in the 90s. I was actually more into the more electronic stuff versus the heavily guitar-laden stuff. Only recently have I really gotten into adding, like, I guess, guitar to my project.
Awesome. Well, that's a really good answer. To each their own. I love Ministry, and I'll be there. So you're an industrial band. There's not a lot of industrial bands left, like, that are good. There's a lot of DJs, there's a lot of metal bands. There's not a lot of bands that like breach that kind of genre of in between. So what have your what have your struggles been lately, like with your band coming up in this kind of genre in the industry around here?
Oh man, I'm gonna grab the microphone for this one.
That's fine.
Industrial on the whole in America is absolutely not popular. It's also losing its popularity in Europe, which is primarily where it comes from, in my opinion. You basically have to be a driven, psychotic fool to to pursue industrial and have it and be passionate about it. You definitely don't want to do it for popularity. You don't want to do it for anything other than you would be doing it anyway in your room late at night, which is kind of how I went. The Denver goth industrial scene is perhaps a lot like many other goth scenes in the United States, where it can get rather cliquey. We've dealt with a pretty fair amount of that. Drama follows scenes everywhere, I suppose. But WIRETRAP honestly doesn't get as much recognition as some other bands in the Denver scene. So, I don't know. For one thing, I'm pretty grateful for this interview. This is very nice of you guys to do.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we want to help you get some more, visibility in the scene, and anybody that's working hard, we're down to help out. So.
Yeah, no doubt. The reason I do this is just because industrial for me is like perfect music. It has intelligence, it has anger, but it really doesn't have a lot of, the self-conscious love of, the stereotype of, ignorance that I see in other forms of music. They kind of dumb it down. Now, I'm probably going to hate people, or people are going to hate on me for saying this, but I'm thinking in terms of a lot of really bad top 40 hip-hop, not like the underground stuff, okay? I'm also thinking in terms of a lot of what passes for music nowadays, like the bubblegum pop stars, like the Justin Biebers and the One Directions and whatnot. It just seems like the status and the the acceptance of the lowest common denominator is sort of becoming the new normal. One thing I like about industrial is that it is always rebellious against that, and it's always the rebel who tends to be, shunned or not popular. They either lead or they get trampled by the majority. I would honestly rather get trampled by the majority doing my own thing than anything else. So there you go.
Awesome. That was a really good answer. I think it's it's a monument to yourself and your music. It says something about what you're doing, that you're willing to be the underdog and still keep doing what you want to do. I think any kind of art, whether it's music or art, comes from the heart. And if you're doing something you love, that's going to show through, and other people are going to feel that love that you have or the emotion that's coming through in your music, and they're going to latch on to that. So that being said, let's talk more about your music. Like, what is going on with your music right now? Do you guys have an album? Who all is in the band? What are the instruments that you play? Tell me all that stuff.
Okay. Totally. I'm going to take the mic. It's just easier.
Just do it.
I'm taller because I'll be getting down like this.
Yeah, we don't
you know.
do that.
I'm the main guy. I do all of the production, songwriting, lyrics, everything for WIRETRAP. The current lineup in my band is some people that I've known for a while, and then a new guy. Tim Bessler plays guitar. He's also written a couple songs of his own that I've incorporated into WIRETRAP. He's probably one of the best lyricists in Colorado. Definitely one of the unsung industrial heroes out here. Carla Starla Houghton, that's her name, but Starla, that's her stage name. She played with me originally in an older industrial band called the New Waveforms. We're talking maybe like 10 years ago. We recently got sort of reunited, and she's doing some guest spots in my band, doing some background vocals and some keys. She's at it a lot and really has instantly increased the visibility and popularity of WIRETRAP. Brought a lot of people. The other member is a guy named Brian Hopple. He is a 25-year-old kid. I say kid because I'm 41. Okay, I'm like over. Yeah.
Yeah.
My phone's all ringing. Hopefully the mic doesn't get that.
It's okay.
This is a unidirectional, I hope.
It's okay.
But he is basically a ridiculously talented person. He's kind of one of these guys. Sort of reminds me of myself from a long time back. Kind of in his own closet in his room, just pursuing his own music. I guess he's gone to a little bit of schooling for guitar and composition and whatnot. His rhythm is impeccable. He's able to play leads like nobody's business. His technique, as far as like pitch bend harmonics and whatnot, are definitely something I've been looking for in my band, and we're actually incorporating that in a new song that I'm working on called Thousandfold. Let's see what else.
Album?
No official albums. I kind of have a take on. CDs are pretty much dying out now, and it's unfortunate, but I've really been taking my time on that. I have a wealth of material written and recorded. I do make my own unofficial burn CDs that I'll pass out at shows, maybe sell a few or whatever. But I noticed, like, over the past few years that the interest in that has really declined. So if you're doing CDs, if you're actually making them, it's more or less a labor of love if you're a struggling independent artist.
It's true. It's a very DIY thing anymore. So you're leaning more towards the singles, the digital download.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing?
Yeah. And, there are a couple of releases of WIRETRAP on two different labels, though. One is out of Denver here called Backwards Records, and it's an album, a compilation album called The N Is Neat. The other is on another label I'm on out of New Mexico called DSBP Records, fronted by Tommy T, who also fronts a band called Diverge, an industrial band out of ABQ. One of my tracks is on a release called Pewtronic Structures Volume 6. A bunch of excellent tracks on there, one of which is just a badass industrial band called Aghast View. Really excellent stuff.
Awesome. So do you guys ever play shows? Do you guys do performances, or is it all online? Like, you want to take it?
Oh, no.
Just tell me.
Yeah. No, one of our hallmarks is live performances. I guess not to brag or whatever you want to call it,
But you should promote yourself.
Well, yeah,
Do it.
obviously. No, not to brag, but honestly, we have probably the best stage presence out of any industrial band in Denver. I have a lot of gimmicks that I do that no one else does. Namely, I have signs. The latest thing is I've actually made some banners at work. I print billboards.
Awesome.
And so we have vinyl media that I can print my things on. What I've been doing lately is printing up my own lyrics for my songs and hanging them up like battle standards on either side of the stage. And if people, they're kind of short attention span, if they get bored and if they just decide to read down them, it ends up looking like the manifesto of a madman. It's awesome. The other thing I do too is This is kind of, okay, we know how every scene basically takes itself a lot more seriously than it should. Okay, we got all the divas everywhere. Okay, I know there's a bunch of heavy metal divas because I've seen some of the scene, right? Well, you know, the goth industrial scene is about as bad, if not worse. And I like to make fun of it. So what I do is, like, I'll take out like signs and I'll just make fun of the various differences in the genres of you know, the scene's music. One of which is, I guess, synth pop versus industrial. Now you've got your synth pop, which is the softer side of it, and then you got the industrial, which is what we're trying to pursue, which is like harder and I guess more honest, darker, yeah, in my opinion, whatever. But you know, hopefully I can get away with saying this. I don't know how it's going to roll, but like, free country. One thing I got happening is like synth pop versus industrial volume 7 or whatever, right? I just make something up and it's funnier than hell. And one of my favorites is, it says industrial whips you. Then I flip the sign around, on the back it says synth pop pussy whips you. Right? And you know, like, I do other things too, where it's like industrial versus goth, you know, like industrial has front 242, goth has Morrissey, so shut the fuck up.
You know? So you make all kinds of like references.
Yeah, a lot of references to the scene, you know, it's like satire, and you know, people get into it. Other people that take themselves seriously, they don't like it and they walk off or whatever. That's okay. They can hit the smoking patio.
That's fine. Yeah, totally. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds really interesting to me. Go ahead and do your phone. Do it. You know, the funniest thing that ever happened during an interview, and I'll tell you right now with a phone, was I was interviewing Exhumed, Matt Harvey from Exhumed.
Yeah.
And my phone started ringing, and it was Exhumed was my ringtone. And it was their new single. So it was just ironic and funny that my phone rang in the middle of their
ridiculous. Interview. Yeah. I'm just going to shut this damn thing off so we can complete this.
Yeah, we're almost done anyway. So now we're at the part of the interview where I ask you a bunch of jackassy questions.
Awesome.
So I don't know if you've ever seen my buddy Groovy do this, but he has a little different version than I do.
Yes.
So let's see. I'm going to start with the ocean question. So would the ocean be deeper if there were no sponges?
If there were no sponges? No, you know, but I don't know if my argument holds a lot of water.
But that was a good answer.
That was good, actually.
Nobody ever has an answer for that. Yeah. So bravo, well done.
What else we got?
Let's see. What is the official language of the United States of America?
More than 1 in 4 people speak Spanish, incluye yo. Mira. Que tienes, güey.
You think that's our official language?
The official language in the United States?
Yeah.
Probably the American version of English, which isn't necessarily English if you talk to British people.
Okay, well, don't feel bad because nobody ever gets this right.
Okay.
And I'm actually waiting for somebody from outside of the country to get it correct, but we do not have an official language. We are a melting pot of all nations and all people. Yeah, diversity.
Dude, yeah.
So now you know.
I do know.
That was a little Google tip trivia question. Groovy and I have trivia wars from Google all the time. It's fun.
You won.
Yeah, I did win.
Yeah.
So, and then I have movie trivia questions also. If you can name the correct ice cream flavor or the movie that it came from, you win. If you were an ice cream flavor, what flavor would you be?
What flavor would I be?
Yeah. It comes from a movie. It's a movie reference.
Yeah, I never saw the movie, but I would really go for what's that one? That Quentin Tarantino movie from a long time ago where, what's her name was in it? Patricia Arquette, and she tasted like a peach.
Ooh,
peach,
there you go.
Peach ice cream.
Peach ice cream? You would be peach ice cream?
Yes.
His official answer is peach ice cream.
Oh.
Okay, so the movie reference is Wayne's World, and the answer is pralines and dick.
Yeah.
Now you got it right.
Probably not.
Yeah,
I did. I missed that one. That's
so, okay, and then let's see. Do I have any more jackassy questions? Not really. I have 2 more serious questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is the best advice you would have for somebody in your genre that is starting out?
Oh my God. This is what all of you guys need to do if you're writing industrial music. 1, use hardware. 2, learn to play instruments for real. Don't get on a frickin' computer, okay? The scene is filled with that, and no one knows what they're doing. 3, let's see. The most important member of the band is not you, okay? If you're a singer, it's not your guitar player, it's nothing. The most important member of the band is always the song, Okay? You do whatever you can to support the song and support the song's image and feeling, and I guarantee if you got rock star dreams, if the song matches up to what you're doing to support it, you're going to kick ass anyway.
That's awesome. That was really good advice. Okay, I think you can probably give that advice to just about any genre.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
really learn to play your instruments is a really good piece of advice. And then the very last and most important question that I have for you is, where can people find more of your music?
Okay, I typically use soundcloud.com/wiretrap11. You can spell SoundCloud. Let me spell WIRETRAP11. WIRETRAP 11. That's where I do put most of my songs that are either under construction or done. You can also find Wiretrap at Reverb Nation. Just look up Wire Space Trap on Reverb Nation and you'll very likely find us. You can also find Wiretrap, the band page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/wiretrapband. You can also find me on Facebook, where I do most of my band business, and it's Wiretrap. They made us change our names, right, recently? So it's WYRE space TRAPP.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this is Amy from ResidentRockstar.com, and we're here outside of Black Sky Brewery with Chris from Wiretrap, and this has been an excellent interview.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.